Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty features remedies for inner healing and outer beauty. Real-time conversations with sisters in the Hebrew Israelite community, focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. She's got the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, and peace. She's got long suffering, gentleness, and goodness, endurance, faith, and meekness too. Hebrew royalty. She's got the fruits of the spirit.
Shalawam, 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 sisters. Shalawam, Ahchwathyam. Come on in with your beautiful royal selves. Come on in. Let's see who is here. Sister Ashley is here. Sister Carla is here. Oh, wow. Sunday dinner. Sunday dinner, Sister Jazzy. Yes. Come on in, sisters. Shalawam. Come on in. As you come in, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you have not already done so. Please, especially that like button. Please hit that like button. All right, Sister Ahab Karat is here. Come on in. Yes, let us get this royal tea party started, because guess what? We've got a lot going on tonight. We have a lot, so much information for you sisters, for me as well. So come on in. Sister Dara is here. Come on in. Let us get this royal tea party started. Before I go any further, as we do every Sunday, let us give a big shout out, a praise to the Almighty AHAYAH, the God of the Hebrews and the Shebrews. I am that I am, in the name of His Son YASHAYA, or who the world calls Jesus Christ. I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, and I humbly thank you for being on this broadcast with me tonight. We've got a lot of information for you tonight. Sister Princess is here. Come on in. Sisters, talk to me. How was your week? How was your Shabbat? How was your Shabbat? I had such a productive week. You all know that we are in preparation mode. So these past few weeks have been busy, have been productive. Why? Because we've got some things coming up, some very important events coming up that we're preparing for. So I pray that you all had a productive week as well, and a restful Shabbat yesterday, a restful Shabbat. Sister Ahab Karad says, blessed, so blessed. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I am talking about. Let's get all of these disclaimers and everything out of the way, because like I said, we want to get this show started. We really want to get this show started because it's going to be so packed with so much information. And I know that you all are ready for what we've got planned tonight. So before moving forward in this discussion, let's talk about what Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty is not. Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I say this every Sunday, but if you happen to come upon this channel maybe for the first time or the second time, and you realize that we are just not your cup of tea, that's okay. That's okay. I encourage you to continue to search YouTube, and I am quite sure that you will find your perfect cup of tea and your perfect flavor. In the process of your search, however, like I said, if you decide that we are not your cup of tea, please do not leave any derogatory comments or statements in the comment box, because that would be distasteful. I encourage you to continue your search, and we thank you in advance for not leaving any derogatory comments. But if you are not quite sure, I encourage you to stick around, and maybe you may just acquire a taste for what Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty has to offer. So although I am a licensed physician assistant and certified functional nutrition informed professional, and I will be touching on topics of health and wellness on some of my broadcasts, we will not be utilizing this platform to diagnose or treat anyone's illnesses. If you are experiencing any medical problems, please consult your healthcare practitioner. And the views that you will hear on this channel are those of myself and my guest, and not those of any particular church or organization. One more thing, if you would like to be a guest on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty, please send me an email to shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com. Let me put that on the banner for you here. shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com, and include a brief description of your business, product, or service that you provide, or a topic that you are interested in co-hosting. I would love to hear from you and brainstorm on how we can collaborate to help heal and strengthen Shebrews throughout the four corners of the earth, which will ultimately contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. So once again, shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com is my email address. Please drop me an email with that information, and come on the show. Come on the show. It's not as scary as you think it is. It really isn't. So, sisters, let us keep it moving. I'm going to show a brief video here, My Guardian Doc. Just in case, if you don't have any medical benefits, or let's say you've been given a diagnosis and you want a second opinion, My Guardian Doc is a great place to go to. Also, if you're anything like me, although I am a medical provider, I don't like visiting hospitals. I'm so sorry. I just don't. And with My Guardian Doc, you can have a telehealth appointment should you need one. So let me just put this video up here for you, and let's see what My Guardian Doc has to offer.
Life can throw unexpected curveballs. When it comes to your family's health, you need someone in your corner. Introducing My Guardian Doc, your virtual medicine program provides compassionate medical guidance and world-class care around the clock. Within minutes, talk to a licensed physician. We are My Guardian Doc. All our doctors are guided by our Patient Safety and Care Equity Council, whose mission is to ensure you receive safe and equitable care. For just $27 per month, your entire household gains access to a team of dedicated medical professionals. Whether it's just sniffles or sneezes, medication refills, or a question about diagnosis or treatment, or the need to speak to a behavioral health specialist in the privacy of your home, no concern is too big or too small. My Guardian Doc is here to help you. No surprise fees, no hidden costs, just quality care when you need it most. With My Guardian Doc, for just $27 per month, your entire household's associated benefits include immediately lower micromort count, which is your 1 in a million chance of dying, on-demand access to doctors, reduce healthcare costs, improve healthcare outcomes, Decreased visits to the hospital or emergency room increase your lifespan and gain peace of mind knowing your family's health is always protected. From urgent care, primary care, medical guidance, prescription discounts, hospital bill negotiation, and much more, My Guardian Doc is here for you every step of the way. Millions of people have expressed a need for My Guardian Doc. Join the fastest growing subscription service. Visit myguardiandoc.com to subscribe today, because your family's health deserves the best. Life can throw unexpected curveballs.
So, sisters, you can visit myguardiandoc.com to learn more about My Guardian Doc. And for more, if you would like to sign up for coverage, you can find the subscription link for Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty viewers in the description box below this video. Let us keep it moving, sisters. Let us keep it moving. Let's see who is here. Who has come in? Who has dropped in? Sister Diane is here. Sister Lillian, Sister Johnny. Welcome, sisters. Shalawam, shalawam. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I hope that you are wearing your favorite turban, tee, tunic, or dress. And that being said, let's sip some tea and have healthy talk. As you can see tonight, I am dressed for the occasion, right? I am dressed for the occasion. I am ready for the wilderness, all right? I'm dressed for the occasion. I've got my camis on. You know, this one says, AHAYAH's Army, AHAYAH's Army. Yes, this t-shirt is from Be Something is the name of the company, a sister in Southern California. You know what? I do not have her information right now. However, if you like this shirt and you would like one of these shirts, please reach out to me and I am quite sure that I can find her. But it's from Be Something and it says AHAYAH's Army. And like I said, I am dressed for the occasion, sisters, because we are taking a walk or a hike on the wild side tonight with this wilderness training that we are going to get. Let's talk about cup of tea. Let's talk about our cup of tea. Let's do this. You know, every Sunday I have to find out what you are sipping tonight. So my cup of tea tonight is sarsaparilla. It's an herbal tea. The specific brand that I have is from Jamaica. It's a Jamaica herbal tea called sarsaparilla. And although I bought this tea over a year ago back in California, I had never drank this tea. I never tasted it. So tonight was my first time tasting this tea, and it has this earthy flavor. But once I added that honey, it really is smooth and delicious. So not only is it smooth and delicious and earthy, but it has many health benefits as well. So let's watch this video about the health benefits of sarsaparilla tea. And this video is by Paul Otote, 4 benefits of sarsaparilla and any concerns that you may have. Sister Deidre Palmer is here. Issachar in Texas. Shalawam, sis. Shalawam. Welcome. Welcome. So good to see you all. Let us get this video up here because, like I said, I want to really jump into this broadcast and bring my guest in. So I'm trying to get all this stuff out of the way so we can get into the meat and potatoes of this show tonight. Sister Ashley is here. All right, let's get this video up here. Let us learn about sarsaparilla tea. What are the benefits?
Sarsaparilla is a powerful herb with a vast Historically, some cultures have used it for its supposed blood purifying benefits, but there are many more benefits to this ancient herb. In this video, find out 4 key benefits of sarsaparilla and also some concerns. So if you want to learn more about sarsaparilla, watch this video. Let's go. Sarsaparilla, not to be confused with Indian sarsaparilla, is actually a category of plants, all from the Smilex family. Actually, there are many Smilex species that all fall into the category of sarsaparilla. It's the root of sarsaparilla that is used in herbal medicine, and this plant is native to Central and South America. Many of you may recognize the name sarsaparilla due to it being used as one of the first flavorings in soft drinks and root beer. Brands such as sarsaparilla popped out as the makers experimented with sarsaparilla in their drinks. But fun fact, some of these sarsaparilla drink brands now are made with artificial flavors, not the original herb. So this might be something you want to bear in mind. Historically speaking, sarsaparilla was relatively unknown before the 15th century. Before then, it was used for centuries by the Native Americans. The Native Americans introduced the plant to the Spaniards, who took it back to Europe, and from there it spread. Back then, the leaves were eaten and cooked with, whilst the fruits was made into a bit of a jelly or wine, whilst the root was used in a tea or tonic. At one point in history, it had widespread use as a cure for all tonic. It's interesting. So around the 1400s or 1500s, it was introduced to Europe. European physicians at that time considered sarsaparilla root as an alterative, a tonic, a blood purifier, a diuretic, and a diaphoretic, which essentially means it helps the body pass urine and helps you sweat. This is very, very good in the body's own cleansing processes. Today, sarsaparilla is making a comeback. I was first introduced to this herb around 2015, and since then, I've seen an increase in people talking about this herb, asking me about this herb, and just generally getting into its use and its powers. So far, if that history has been beneficial for you, make sure you drop a like, make sure you drop a comment. And without further ado, let's get into the 4 benefits of sarsaparilla. The first benefit of sarsaparilla is its blood benefits. Throughout history, sarsaparilla's effect on the blood was one of the main benefits attributed to this herb. It was widely used back then to help eliminate toxins from the blood. But before we touch on this subject a bit further, let's do a bit of background on the blood and on the body. Firstly, the blood carries nutrients and oxygen to the cells, and it also removes waste products from these cells like carbon dioxide. But there are lesser known benefits here, and that is to do with other organs such as the brain. The brain uses about 25% of the body's oxygen and energy, but it's the furthest organ away from the heart. So blood flow is very important, and this is something you need to be mindful of in general, especially if you're Black or if you're African. Issues like stroke, heart disease are twice as likely to affect this particular demographic. The blood literally is our life force. So back to sarsaparilla. It's said that sarsaparilla is rich in compounds like saponins that bind to endotoxins and help remove them from the body. This is where its potential blood purifying benefits come from. But also, sarsaparilla is also known to help increase blood flow. As we spoke about earlier, blood flow is very important in the body. It's especially good for the brain, but it's also very, very good for your sexual health. And this is why sarsaparilla is known to help boost sex drive. Helping boost the blood will help boost other key important processes in the body. Another blood use of sarsaparilla is to do with blood sugar. In mice, sarsaparilla and its active components help lower blood sugar and help reduce insulin resistance. So this shows great promise. As you know, not all the time can animal studies be extrapolated to humans, but it does give sometimes a good indication of direction. Bar sex drive, which we spoke about earlier, sarsaparilla has also been said to help be beneficial for hormonal balances. Old adverts of sarsaparilla drinks try to link the herb to bodybuilding benefits from testosterone to body mass. Whilst the evidence here is very lacking, it's still said that sarsaparilla can have some benefits on testosterone. It's said that it could potentially help stimulate the release of testosterone. But also, from a woman's perspective, it's also said to be beneficial in premenstrual problems. So this may be worth you looking into further, especially if you're into bodybuilding like I am, or if you're having issues associated with menopause. But one of the concerns with sarsaparilla is that studies on this herb are unfortunately either very old, lacking, or mainly done in animals. So make sure you do your own research or consult an expert before trying this herb. The second benefit of sarsaparilla is on liver and kidney health. Sarsaparilla is generally good for a few organs and processes in the body. We already spoke about blood, but there is also some evidence to suggest some benefits to the liver. As you may know, one of the jobs of the liver is to filter blood coming from the digestive tract, and evidence in rats shows that sarsaparilla can have a positive effect on the liver. Thus, this could be another potential reason why sarsaparilla may be beneficial to the blood. This research that was conducted in rats with liver damage, and what they found was that the compounds rich in flavonoids from sarsaparilla was able to reverse liver damage and help it function at its best. But as I said before, animal studies may not always be extrapolated to humans, but this in itself shows promise. One day, God willing, I'm going to get into conducting studies myself, but that will be a dream. So if you guys keep helping this channel grow, as you guys are helping it grow, that one day might be done, as well as sustainable farming and local farming. But my goals and my visions, maybe that's something for another video. If that's something you want to see, let me know. Remember, on this channel, we're looking at ancient ways to optimize our well-being, not necessarily healing, but in terms of boosting wellness, boosting organ health. And sarsaparilla in itself shows good promise. It's said that sarsaparilla is a herb that can increase perspiration or sweating, which means it might also promote excretions of toxins via urine or sweat. Also, its diuretic action forces the excretion of toxins through urination, which supports kidney health by helping clear the kidneys. This is very interesting stuff. So if you're liking these benefits so far, make sure you drop a like. Also, let me know your thoughts on sarsaparilla. I know a lot of you guys have had some sort of interaction with this herb, so let me know how you feel about it. Let me know your comments. But one of the concerns, and something I've kind of touched on already, is that there is a lack of modern research on sarsaparilla. And for that reason, not much is known about the precautions people should take when they try this herb. And it's for this reason it's advised that pregnant or breastfeeding women should avoid this herb. The third benefit of sarsaparilla is it increases bioavailability of other herbs. Firstly, what is bioavailability? Well, simply put, bioavailability is the amount of a substance that enters into the cells or bloodstream when introduced into the body. A lot of foods or supplements may have a high level of nutrients, but that doesn't mean that the body can actually assimilate it or use it in its processes. So, did you know that adding sarsaparilla to your other herbal tea can increase the bioavailability of the other herbs in the blend and enhance their overall benefits? Sarsaparilla itself is powerful, as you guys can see, but it's also known as a synergist, aiding in absorption or bioavailability of other herbs. The fourth benefit of sarsaparilla is its compounds. Sarsaparilla is said to contain some powerful compounds, all concentrated into its root. Some of these compounds have been shown to be anti-inflammatory. For example, some cell test tube studies have shown that these compounds can be anti-cancer, and the plant steroids within it has said to be helpful for digestion, gut health, and heart health. And also, it's extremely high in saponins. It's actually 2% saponins. That 2% saponin concentration is actually the highest concentration of saponins among all medical plants. And due to this reason, there is some good benefits for skin, as I mentioned before, but it's also rich in chromium and iron. It's a very good source of iron. And also it has some good flavonoid antioxidants, which may be beneficial for your skin health, eye health, and also immune health. Generally speaking, this is a very interesting herb. It's a herb that I will always own, and personally I can see it becoming very popular in the next few years. Me, I use the powdered root or the dried root so I can drink it as tea, but some of you guys may opt for tinctures, and just be mindful, as tinctures tend to be a lot more potent, and especially as there isn't that much scientific information to determine the appropriate range or dose for this herb, you definitely want to be mindful. The last concern I'll touch on is if you already have kidney issues, you should definitely stay away from this herb. And if you also are on medication for other things, be very, very mindful about drug herb interactions. So if you're on any medication, contact your doctor before trying any new herb. You know, apart from that, the evidence shows that sarsaparilla is relatively safe. So just a quick recap. We've touched on how sarsaparilla is beneficial for the blood. It also aids blood flow. It might also be beneficial for hormonal balances. It might also be beneficial for gym and premenopausal issues, but also is beneficial for liver and kidney health, and it also helps increase the bioavailability and absorption of other herbs, which I think is a particularly key one. And it also has some strong, powerful compounds within it that could be beneficial for skin, immune health, and eye health. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to learn more about herbs, click on my face and get my herb guide. And before you go, check out these two videos right here and right here. It's your brother Paulo Tote, certified herbalist, nutritionist, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Sarsaparilla.
All right, sisters. Wow. Look at those benefits. All of that I've been missing out on all these, well, at least a year and a half since I've had this herb, this tea in my cupboard and haven't been drinking it. Look at what I've been missing out on. You know what? I am going to add this link in the comment box here. Let me put this in the comment box for you all so you can watch that again. And Sister Sarah says that this young man, that she's seen some of his videos and he has good information. Khan says, I agree. I agree. And let's see who else is here. Sister Lorraine is here. Sister Elaire Wilson. Sister Madakwa is here. Ihade Zion. Sister Deidre, Sister Zion, Sister Carla. Oh my gosh, you all showed up and showed out tonight. Come on in. Sister Jeanette is here. Once again, sisters, while you're coming in, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We are about to get started. Another reminder, because I do not promote on social media, because I have no other social media platform, my YouTube channel is all that I have on as far as social media accounts. So I depend on you and your support by sharing this channel and also inviting other sisters to join us. Sisters, family, friends, also by word of mouth. Send text messages out, call them up, let them know that we go live every Sunday at this time, because we have so much valuable information on this show, and I hate for sisters to miss out on this, right? So who watched last week's show, live or playback? Declutter Your Life Part 2, Mental and Emotional Detox. What are your thoughts about the show? Wasn't Sister Patricia just awesome? Wasn't she just awesome? I love having her on the show. Sister Jeanette says, my mom literally told me about a sarsaparilla for my iron last night. Oh my gosh, I ordered it this morning and now this confirmation from Abba. Oh my goodness. Sis, no, look at the Most High. Look at the Most High. That is incredible. Your mom just told you about this tea last night, and here it is being featured on Tea Time today. Wow, wow, wow. Now that's the Most High. That is the Most High. So that being said, it's showtime, and we're not at the Apollo. We are here on Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty. Who's ready for another super exciting and impactful show? A show that has so much information. Oh my gosh, I hope you all have notebooks. I hope you have notebooks to take notes, because you are about to have your mind blown. That's all I have to say. You are going to be so ready. You're going to be so ready for what is coming up for Feast of Tabernacles, everything else. So tonight's topic, camping basics. Welcome to the wilderness, sisters. is a vital lesson that will prepare us for not only camping for fun with our families, but more importantly, to teach us skills necessary to participate in the annual Feast of Tabernacles as commanded by the Most High, and also for preparation for survival in the wilderness when that time comes. So this class tonight is going to be taught by Ahch Shamar from the GOCC Southern California church body. So please help me welcome Ahch Shamar on our show tonight. Let me bring him in. Ahch Shamar.
How's it going, sis?
Oh,
Shalom.
bless.
Shalom.
Shalom. It is so good to see you.
It's good to be seen.
all praises. Welcome to Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty and all of the Shebrew royalties out there. Welcome.
Thanks for the invite.
Of course. Thank you. Who else would I invite for this topic?
Well, I can tell you, I miss you. I miss doing the wilderness and wilderness first aid with you out here for Tabernacle.
I miss you too, Ahch, and that's why when this came up, I had to call you. I had to talk to you because we had such good times doing those classes, didn't we?
That's right. We did. I mean, a lot of times we would end up having to do 3 or 4 of them in the same tabernacles because people would widely request them.
Khan, the water. And yeah, I learned so much from you. And I am so excited for the sisters tonight, for all of us, because we get to learn some more. And I know a few of the sisters, at least here, now that I'm in the San Antonio body, I know some of the sisters here, this is their first tabernacles. Okay. And I thought this would be so great to give them some tips on how to prepare. And, some haven't camped before. And even for others that have camped, Tabernacles is totally different from just going out there and doing camping, the fun stuff with family and friends and so on. And even for those of us who were in the military, Tabernacles is even different from that. So right. I named this Camping Basics because a lot of this information that you're going to give is not just for Tabernacles, like I said. They can utilize this information when they're going camping, and they'll even be more prepared than had they not taken this, even if they're just going out with family and friends.
Con. So, well, some of the stuff that I want to cover is just, how to prepare for tabernacles, really, because one of the things that I think is great.
Before you get started, can I just give a little bit of information about you?
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. You sent me your bio here. And you said being a city kid all of your life, the lockdown in 2020 helped you to see the holes in your preparedness for these events and others. So this began your journey over the last 4 years to becoming certified in Urban Disaster Preparedness, Wilderness Survival, Wilderness First Aid, as well as becoming proficient in compass and topographical maps and bushcraft. And since receiving your certifications, you have taught many of the skills to various GOCC bodies. Would you like to expound on that a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so basically, like you said, 2020, standing in line to get food, I realized that I didn't have any hunting skills. I didn't have a garden put together. I didn't have adequate water. As you can see behind me, I have a mountain of wood behind me. So once that happened, I thought it was important for someone to get some of those skills and bring it back. And just so happened that I found a group here near me that actually trains military, right? So they train high up with high up military. And so I've been out, I've done 10 days where they take you up into elevation. They teach you how to survive. They also teach you how to take care of people when you're hurt in the middle of nowhere. So it's like a wilderness first aid, right? And then you have to fight, learning about altitude sickness and different things like that. And then what they do after that is they drop you down. They just take you straight out of your mountains and drop you down into the desert. And you have to learn how to survive in the desert back to back.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Intense.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So now with those skills, 4 years later, here you are, proficient in these skills, and we're just ready to learn. We're just ready to learn. So I'm going to turn this over to you, and let's get this royalty party and show started.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that if you got questions, please, chime in. I'll just be kind of going through some things to be kind of mindful of, because there's two different things, or there's a multitude of different things, and that's the Most High is very wise in how he moves, because one of the things that I noticed since I've gotten into this is right before Tabernacles we have trumpets, right? And trumps is that window of time to get prepared, right? Everybody come to attention. And so if you notice, when you have trumpets, it's also right around the time of Labor Day. Okay. The reason that's important is because right as Labor Day is happening, they have a ton of sales on a lot of your camping gear, right? So after trumpets and moving forward, the camping season is over. So if you're looking for certain gear, you should be able to go places and find it relatively cheaper on sale, because it happens right after, because no one is camping in this temperature, later in the season.
Look at that.
Right. So that's one of the things I find. So the things I'm going to show you are a lot of the things I found most recently on sale, different places. Right. I don't have a list of where to get them. And I'm not going to be here to tell you exactly what you must get. I'm just going to give you a kind of an overview of things that you should have.
Okay.
Access to.
Okay.
All right. So
all right.
One of the main things that I have here on my list is, of course, a tent. Right. What happens now is when we think of camping, or it's going to come from a place of living in a conditioned house. So what I find a lot of times in tabernacles is it'll be maybe one person, two people or something like that, but they'll come to tabernacles with a 8-person tent.
Guilty.
Right. Right. So one, and if tabernacles if you have a lot of people come to tabernacles like we do here, I know we have here, in the West, that's a large footprint. And what tend to happen is you'll end up with way more people closer to you. But the second major thing about having a large tent and not having a lot of people in it, when in the day, it'll be hot during the day. But in the evening, you'll jump in your tent, right? And the temperature will start to drop. Now, the situation there is, if you have a large square footage to keep warm and cold, if you have a large tent, you're not going to be able to really be too comfortable necessarily getting in and out of your sleeping bag, because you are the heater in there, or you have to provide some type of additional heat for the evening.
Wow. That is so true.
Right. So if you want to cut down on all the different things you have to bring, my suggestion would be, when you're thinking about a tent, get a tent that is rated for, I would say, if you let's say if you have a single person, I would say a 3-person tent is good. If you have 2 people, a 4-person tent is good, right? So that, you know what I'm saying? So you typically want to take your numbers and basically double them.
Okay.
Right. So that way you at least have enough room for people to sleep, and so now you have more bodies in there to warm it, and you can store some of your stuff inside of your tent with you. Okay.
That's a great tip. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first one. The second thing I have here is I recommend let me put my notes here. I recommend opening, no matter whether your tent is new or old, before you pack it away and head out, you should open your tent, set your tent up, make sure all the poles are there, make sure everything is there, and then break it down and then pack it away. So you know exactly what's in your bag. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to Tabernacles and someone, oh my God, I forgot my rain fly. Oh my God, I forgot my poles. I forgot this, I forgot that. And most times that's because they never opened it. They packed it down. The Tabernacles before, someone helped them put the poles in one place, put the tent in another place, and now they're back for another Tabernacles. So I recommend before you go out today, tomorrow, Wednesday, open your tent up, go through it. And it's also a good thing to do because you have last year's dust and dirt. You want to open your tent up, air it out, get the dust and dirt out of it, and repack it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's pretty much that. Things you should have around your tent. You should have some type of chair, something to sit in outside your tent. Because one of the beautiful things about Tabernacles is typically you're going to meet new people. There's going to be people moving around. And you might just be tired from working, running around at Tabernacles. So I recommend you have some type of chair, something that will work for you. Let me see that.
I can see it.
Right? Okay. So you need to have somewhere to sit in your tent. You're going to want to have, of course, most people are going to go with a blow-up mattress. So you're going to want to have whatever you need to blow up your mattress. Some type of way to, I suggest some type of, excuse me, some type of generator of some sort, right? These are relatively reasonable. You don't have to get the large ones. This is the EcoFlow River 2 Pro, but the EcoFlow 2 and the EcoFlow 2 Max are just as good as this. Okay. So you can check those out, and those work really well.
With that generator, what can you power with that generator?
Well, so with that generator there, because I said it's the Pro, so in this line, the River series is set up for camping. So the one I got has 800 watts, so you can run a small refrigerator with that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you can run a small refrigerator. Now,
is that solar?
You have access to solar as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can plug it in. The thing I liked about the River series is even at that capacity, it charges in within like from 0 to full in about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so the steps down from that, the next one down is 500 watts. And you just have less wattage. So now you're not trying to charge any kind of small refrigerators or anything like that. You're basically going to be able to get like maybe like one of those small AC units. If you happen to be so bougie. Right. So you can do that with that. But the one that's the lowest one, that's 300 watts, that one I believe is probably the absolute best, especially for sisters with, let's say you have, it's a single sister, right? If you're just trying to charge some devices and just keep contact and, keep some stuff up, maybe you want to watch the elders or something like that later. Keep your phone charged so you can keep in touch with loved ones and things like that. That the 300 watt is great, and that's roughly about, I want to say 180. Okay. For that one.
Okay. Not bad.
Okay. No. So personally myself, the different things you should also have is one, some type of sleeping bag, of course, right? But the evenings is typically when things start to slow down a little bit. You may want to sit around the tent and talk to someone. Like I said, the temperatures are going to drop. Things you should remember. You're going to need probably a sweatshirt, some sweatpants, or something warm to put over your legs, right? One of the things I like to keep with me is just this little blanket. It's just a little down blanket. It's really nice. I've had people use it, and it just keeps them warm.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the biggest part of this for me is, let's talk about what we're doing. Tabernacles is preparing us to get used to being in the wilderness, right? So we are going to have to move. And we all understand, especially like I said, we all went through the lockdowns together, is if you had to move, if you had to leave your dwelling, right? If all your gear is not in one place and you only have 30 minutes to leave, how are you going to really move with confidence to leave your comfortable dwelling to go into some type of wilderness situation, right? And I'm not talking about, the end of, something, anything big. I'm talking about like fire, earthquake, flood, right? Some of the simple things that we all go through, hurricanes, right? And you have to leave in a moment's notice. One of the things that I do with all that gear is I make sure to have adequate bins, right? I tend to like the ones with the lock top. Okay. And because what that does is, now when I store my tent, my sleeping bags, my anything else, I can just put a little label on it like this, and I know exactly what's in that bin. Right? So now, after Tabernacles, I can have all the things I need. And let's say now we're going into, because understand, we're going into the winter season, where a lot of times this is where we're going to be affected most. Right? These things happen to us mostly. It's going to happen in the wintertime. You might get, whatever the case may be, have a flood or whatever happened coming in or out of the winter. So when you have your bins, what's in it, what you need to take, and you can be packed and ready in a matter of 10-15 minutes. And now you're ready to go move on into the wilderness. And that way you can make sure your family's safe.
Okay, all praises.
Okay. Any questions from that?
Let's see if I think we have a couple of questions. Sister Lillian says, what about solar panels?
Was as far as the
solar panel for the unit, yes.
You can buy solar panels. So this one here, most of them have like 3 to 4 different ways to charge it. You can plug it into the wall. You can use solar panels, and this one, and a lot of them come with you can actually also plug it into your car. Right, so it's 3 different ways you can charge. So you can put it in your car, plug this in, get moving where you got to go, and it'll charge while you're driving.
Okay.
Right, and then once you get there and you're using it, you can get a solar panel. I'll show you. Let me show you the back of it real quick. So this here is the port for the solar.
Okay.
Right, you just plug in, find yourself some sun, and now. This one here is rated for a solar panel that is about 150 watts. You're still going to be charging half the day. So if you use it during the night, when the sun comes up, you gotta, we're Hebrews, so we know the east. We know the sun rises in the east. So when we wake up in the morning, you get your prayer in. Set your solar panel up. Let that go. Also, the other cool thing about these devices is you can charge on them while they're charging.
Okay. And it won't drain that power, or
no. It'll still take in power and give as much power as it needs.
Okay.
Right. So it right now off the bat it'll bring in as much as it needs, and it'll charge. It'll take as much juice as it needs to take to charge whatever device you're trying to get to, and then whatever's left over, it will charge that. Let me see. I wish I wish I could show you, because on the device, what this one does, it has, if you see there, it has those triple zeros there.
Con.
Okay, so the triple zeros there is that is the bottom one is power going out.
Okay.
So it tells you how much, how many watts you're using going out, and the top one, if you're plugged in, it tells you how many watts are coming in.
Coming in. Okay. Awesome.
Right. So what happens there is, if you're charging solar, it'll say, this is how much watts are, this is how many watts are coming in. Now, if you're charging from the solar, you want to be mindful that you're not plugging a bunch of stuff in that overwhelms it, in the sense of it's pulling more juice than you're bringing in. And that's kind of one of the upsides about a unit like this with the digital display. The other thing is, we're in Tabernacles. We all have our devices with us. This unit, you can still command it. You can command it from your phone. So
Okay.
let's say if it's being used, let's say like somebody, one of the kids is charging something, and you can see on your phone that it's pulling too much juice, you can shut it down from your phone at a distance.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is a good one.
Where do you get that? Where can you find that unit?
I recommend going to the manufacturer.
Okay.
And that's EcoFlow.
EcoFlow. Okay.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because this unit, I just picked this unit up. I've been running it pretty hard to give it a test, because I like to test stuff before I use it. And I talked to one of my cousins who got a refurbished one. So you can look for the refurbished ones as well.
Okay.
Okay. And I was talking with him. He said that he bought the refurbished one and he had a problem with it. He was EcoFlow. He called EcoFlow or got in touch with them, and they said send it in. He sent in the refurbished one he bought, and they sent him a brand new one.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's sweet.
Right. So from everybody I researched with this unit, the reviews were great, and you get a 5-year warranty with it. And typically, everything I've read so far, it's not send it in to us, we'll fix it. It's send it in to us, we're going to send you another one.
Okay.
Right. So,
Okay.
so if you're looking at the prices, for that type of peace of mind, you know, the numbers are negligible as far as I see it.
Yeah, I just pulled it up here. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And
they're
so,
actually pretty reasonable. And they're so
Right.
compact from what I see. They're not like the big ones that you have to use the gas, or what else do they
That's
put in there?
propane,
You know, propane. Those are huge,
and they're loud.
and they're loud.
So a lot of people will bring even the small ones, right? So bringing a generator to Tabernacles can be disruptive.
And then fumes.
You know, fumes, the noise, like, you know, because somebody might decide, oh, I have a CPAC. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to run my generator, and now that thing is putting along the entire night.
Right.
You know, so this works. I like this is what's called, it's the River series. So there's 3 in that line. They do have the Delta series. Now, the Delta series is meant for your house.
Okay.
Right? They have some that go up in price. Those also can be solar charged and all those other things. Right? So with that being said, they have some that are so large you can run full-size refrigerators. Right? And now you have access to running different devices inside your house in an emergency with the Delta series, without having to use gas or not needing this or that and the other thing. So it's a good, for me, I'm not telling you to get it. It's not a must get, but what it is a good alternative for in the house use.
Okay.
And if there's a situation where the lights go out, so you can still run some lights you can still run a couple things, charge your batteries and things like that.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
And it's not loud.
It's not very loud at all. Right. The most you're going to get is the sound of a fan.
Okay.
Running. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so what else was on my list? Boom, kitchen. So now we did that part. Now, the other thing you need at Tabernacles is some type of kitchen, right? So I would say that you need probably like a small propane burner, 2-burner, right? This is tea time. So one of the things I like to do is in the morning, get up and have tea. A lot of times, some of my brothers will come over and make their coffee. And it's just a good time to just, get up in the morning, greet each other, have some tea, have some coffee before you do, like we'll have a sunrise service, right? So then, hey, brother, it's time to get up. So that's a good time to, one, meet people, hang out, just a nice little moment to just meet and greet before you go down to the morning service. But in my kitchen, in my particular kitchen box, some things I just keep is I like to have, personally myself, this is peanut butter and honey, right? Mason jars, so you don't have to bring a full mass of things. Other things you're gonna want to make sure you have probably in your kitchen. Hey, let me pop it out of the plastic. And I put this one here, and I brought this one out for you because it's camo.
It's camo. That's what I'm talking about.
Right? For a first aid kit. Right? So you're gonna need some type of make sure you have some type of first aid kit in your. I typically want to keep it in the kitchen because most times, if you're cutting things, making things, that's where you're gonna need it. Right? You're preparing food, you might burn yourself, cut yourself. It happens. You're out in the wilderness. Okay. Other things you're gonna need in your kitchen, some way to sanitize your area. Sorry, I just turned that upside down. Right? You can get. I typically go by myself, so this is good enough. But this is good for cleaning up your tables, your cutting boards, rinsing those down, things like that. Of course, paper plates and things like that. What other thing? Oh, kitchen. So here's another thing I like to have. I suggest cutting down on your waste. Yeah, that. I suggest cutting down, just in case you forgot. I suggest you cut down on your waste. Bring some type of insulated bottle, so you can keep cold water with you if you like your water cold, or you're gonna have to, if it gets cold at night, you can put something warm in it. Okay. Right. So like if you right, if you make a large tea, you can put it in your container and go around again. Tabernacles is the opportunity and time to share. Right, meet people, meet other people from different bodies, start other alliances and stuff like that, where you can have brothers and sisters that are like-minded. Okay, so that's one. But I don't recommend. Personally myself, I don't for our personal selves. I don't recommend bringing a bunch of water bottles, right? Because now you have additional waste that you have to be in charge of. So if you have your own water, you're good to go. Now, for me, I tend to bring this. This is a big 5-gallon jug where I'll fill it with water, and this is what I'll use for most of Tabernacles. So what's good about that is it tends to stay cold. And if it's hot at Tabernacles that day, you can go pull the tab, wet a towel, keep yourself cool. Okay. Right? If you see someone else that got sick or you see someone else dealing with heat, things you should have in your kitchen: a bunch of extra towels, right?
Oh,
So like I said,
okay.
you want to, because tabernacles, it can get hot. Some of these places are going to be really hot for tabernacles, right? And heat will be a thing. Okay. Now we dealt with some of the basic stuff in your kitchen. Let's deal with how you're gonna, and this is a big one for a lot of people new. How do I heat and cool, or keep all my food together for 10 days? Well, one of the
That's
things
a
that I
huge
like,
one.
yeah, absolutely. So I've got a bit of a demonstration here, but one of the things is, first, I suggest if you're going, you should have two separate coolers, one for frozen things and one for just cool things. So basically you'll have a freezer and a refrigerator. Okay. So the biggest thing I suggest first is I recommend dry ice. So find somewhere near you that has dry ice. And the most important thing about that is how you pack it. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm using this as a prop. So typically you're going to get dry ice. It's going to be roughly about like this big or so.
Okay.
It's going to come in plastic like this. Don't take it out of the plastic. Leave it in the plastic. And if you can, you want to get a paper bag. I'm going to do another bag. Put it away. There it is. You want to take your bag. Oh, first off, I'm sorry. Take your bag, the dry ice bag. You want to put it in another bag or two, a paper bag.
Okay.
Sorry. And what you want to do, you want to close this up. And this one, you want to tape. You're going to take this one and you're going to tape it shut. Okay? And then what you want to do from there is you're going to want to put it in one more plastic. So what you're trying to do, because dry ice is really activated by water. You're trying to insulate it as best you can from water so that it doesn't just basically just disintegrate.
Right.
Okay? So that's why I'm having you do these steps. You take that, you put it in this bag here, spin it around. I'm going to show you again. Spin it around like I did there. And then you want to pull that back on top of itself again.
Wrap it again. Okay.
Wrap it again. So now you have basically a fully insulated block of dry ice. Now, depending on how much stuff you're bringing, you can have, like I said, one full cooler of frozen stuff. Dry ice works very well. It will keep your stuff frozen. That's one. If you don't mind, I don't mean to, but I'm gonna go grab something real quick. Right back.
Sure. Isn't this some good information, sisters? Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I wish I knew that about the dry ice before. I was doing it all wrong. I was doing it all wrong with the dry ice. It's so embarrassing. I was like, what am I doing with this dry ice? I said, this thing doesn't work. It doesn't work. But I guess when you wrap it the right way, it's going to work. Let's see who is he.
So I recently did a trip with my mom up to Oregon. And I did this, let's say I did it on a Tuesday night before I left. I was able to go all the way up to the bay, all the way to Oregon, all the way back down to my house, and I still had ice. And that's roughly about 5 days.
Oh wow!
In the back of my truck, in high temperatures. So
what kind of cooler do you have? Does the cooler matter?
The cooler can also make a difference, right? I do have a cryo or like a Yeti.
Oh, wow.
A
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really expensive. So I'm not trying to recommend that. However, I've also done it in a regular igloo.
Okay.
Now, the key to this is double folded, right? One, don't take your dry ice and then put a bunch of room temperature stuff and then a bunch of ice on it, right? What you want to do is, and that's what I went to go get, is I made up chili beans already frozen for one of my days. This is like basically like I don't know, like a pig's burger. This is like a lasagna.
Okay.
Frozen. So what I do is I have an idea of when I want to eat them, and I stack them. So say I'm not going to be eating the chili beans or this until day 5 or 6 or whatever it would be. I'm going to put this probably closer to the dry ice and then put ice on top of this, because this is cold, the dry ice is cold, the ice, everything connected to this is going to be in a block of ice.
Okay.
The whole thing will become a block of ice. Now, other frozen things that you plan on eating, that you're preparing, you can put it off to the side, still put ice on it, but because it's in the box with the dry ice, it will also stay frozen much longer if it's already frozen. Okay. It's less energy going out. It doesn't have to cool it down.
Okay.
If it's already frozen. Okay. The other part of that is, if you have a freezer box, do not treat your freezer box like your cool items. Don't go in and out of it all day, opening and closing the lid. If that's your freezer box, in the evening, when you want something that you think about the next day, you go in, pull it out, put it in your cool box. Right? So it can start to unthaw and do whatever it's going to do that evening to the next day. So everything about this truth is about being prepared. We have a prep day. So that's just my recommendation. So you have
that's great advice. That's awesome advice right there.
So yeah, and I was, again, prepare your meals ahead of time, because again, when you're at Tabernacles, because everyone's duties at Tabernacles are going to be different, right? Everyone's going to have different levels to do, right? So if you're having to feed a family or even just feed yourself, I'm personally recommending, you're better off prepping everything that you want to cook ahead of time, Ziploccing it, like I did here, vacuum sealing it as best you can, and freeze it ahead of time so that it also stays better. And it cuts down on your cook times. You don't have to stand there cutting tomatoes and lettuce and getting all your stuff together. Right. You can pretty much throw it in you can just throw it in a pot. As you can see, this is my camping pot. It's all beat up, but
that's okay.
You can throw it in your pot and be ready to eat.
All right. I like that. With the dry ice. So once you've wrapped it, you put it in the bottom of the cooler.
Yep.
Right? And then you start stacking your food, whether it be meats or what have you.
Yep.
And then you layer that with some regular ice.
Yep.
Do you take the ice out of the bags and pour it on there, or do you just leave the ice in the bag that you get?
You can do either.
Okay.
I will say that if it's a freezer situation, you can leave it in the bag, so you can hopefully move the bag from where on top of your frozen items. That works better, so you don't have to chisel through ice. Okay. The second part of that is it helps you to have ice for, let's say someone, Father forbid, someone hurts himself, you need ice for putting on an injury. You can open your freezer box, get into the ice, and pull some of that out. It's not a block of ice. So you could do either, but in this case, it may be better to keep it in the bag, right?
Okay.
If it works in your cooler. Now sometimes.
Oh wow, we lost him. What happened? I apologize, sisters. There. Okay, here he is. He's back.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So you could do that, and this way, ultimately, you can have access to it. But if you don't have room, break it up. So again, all the situations are going to be different.
Okay.
But again, the biggest thing to take from this, yes, with the dry ice, but the biggest thing is prepare your food before you go. Figure out what meals you're going to eat, so you have less time standing in your kitchen. You really want to. I advise everyone to take advantage of Tabernacles and step outside of your church body and just go meet someone, go meet people from the other bodies.
Because
one of the things I find at Tabernacles is I meet people, and then when I travel outside of California, I go to Vegas, Arizona. I've been to New York, Georgia. Alabama, different places. I have because I've met so many people in different places and doing different things. I have other brothers and sisters I can rely on when I get into town, different states.
Here,
right?
Where we're at, it's just our body that goes to Tabernacles.
Okay.
But I know in California, like, we have
right.
the Northern and Southern California together. And,
Arizona and Las Vegas.
And
right.
Las Vegas. Mm-hmm.
Right. And we also have Washington and, all the other bodies
Seattle,
out of Colorado. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's a blessing there. What else was there? So those are the biggest things. Some of the biggest questions people ask about Tabernacles, things that you probably don't think about. I'm outside right now and I'm looking at mosquitoes around me. Mm-hmm. You're gonna need something to spray yourself with. Mm-hmm. Officer Yarack brought up an old one that I totally forgot about. Skin So Soft from Avon. Remember Skin So Soft from Avon?
Yeah.
That's a great mosquito repellent.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And it's been around for a long time. I totally forgot about it. But all praise be to the Most High. The officer brought it up yesterday.
Okay.
So that's one. Two, you're gonna need some type of flashlight, right? Because you're gonna be moving, and you're gonna have to get up. This is one I keep in my pocket. I like this one because it's chargeable, but it's relatively powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, other thing is some type of lantern. I don't recommend the old school lantern for most people because it's fire, and we're at this time of the year, a lot of places are going to be very fire conscious.
Okay.
Right. So I'll show you. This type of lantern, the old school glass. This one.
Oh,
I don't necessarily recommend this one, because it's actual fire. This is real glass.
Mm-hmm.
If you got kids running around.
The wick in it? Is that the one with the wick?
Yeah, this is the one with the little bulbs.
Oh, the bulbs.
Sorry. This is the one that has the little bulbs in it.
Oh, okay.
You put the little I forget what they're called.
Okay.
So I don't recommend this because even now I'm here in my backyard and I don't have anywhere to put this.
Right. That's kind of big.
Yeah. So I recommend, something like this. I got this at Costco. I think this was $19 at Costco. It has a solar charger on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it also charges, as you can see here, you're also able to charge your phone on that.
Yeah, I have one of those, as a matter of
fact,
from Costco. Mm-hmm.
So I just found that at Costco maybe a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
right? What else is there? Water, that. Other thing, sisters, got to remember toiletries. I'm sure I don't have to tell you. You're women. You deal with it on a daily basis. I do not.
Oh.
But I happen to have one of you, and I call her wife. So, so I have to remember myself to just bring some things. So you're gonna need some type of, situation for going to the restroom because when it's cold out, a lot of times my wife, she's also known as the rib, doesn't always want to go out in the cold.
I don't blame her.
Right. So remember some type of way to use the restroom. Now, with that said, I'm one of the brothers that have spent some time doing cleanup after tabernacles, and it's not fun dealing with other people's waste after tabernacles because people don't want to dispose of it correctly. They throw it in the regular bins with the regular stuff. So if you are using the restroom in your tent, do not, I'm going to repeat this, do not put your nasty, filthy filth in the regular bins because someone's got to go change that on a daily basis. And that thing breaks and busts open. Now you got fecal matter everywhere. So what did I do with my bags? I recommend it.
We have had those conversations. We have
you guys have? Okay.
Oh yes,
I appreciate
we've had those during our TNTs, our Thursday night things. Yes.
So what I recommend is make sure you get, for those matters of all sorts, get a thick, heavy duty bag, and you be responsible for your waste. Okay, make it so typically, I don't know where you guys are, but typically someone takes trash. You should find out when that time is and make sure that bag is secure, even if you have to double bag it. But make sure you take, and that's just helpful for not just the area, but it's respectful for those whose job it is to clean up the campsites and keep it together. So I'm, as one of those brothers, I'm just going to put that out there. I tend to keep these around for people that may need them. So this is another thing I personally bring with me. Now, one of the last things I have here is some type of radio. Okay, you need to be able to communicate or hear communications around the camp. Right, something's going on. Someone may need, like I keep going back to medical emergencies. Some kid has scraped his knee. Somebody bumped their head. Sister Koala, you might be getting called. Hey, we need someone with some type of experience, right? Someone's passed out, right? Or what tends to happen at tabernacles is kids get loose, right? Your kids get loose at tabernacles. Something may have happened with one of your children. Hey, we're looking for Sister XYZ. We need her at the tent. Her son, we have an emergency with her son. So what typically happens is this. Again, you don't have to, if you don't have one that looks exactly like this, don't worry about it. You can go to Walmart or anywhere and just get the cheap radios, because typically what we do here is we're like on channel, I'm gonna say 3, right? We'll be on channel 3, and that's for the general public information. Where we're having this class at XYZ time. Sunrise service or evening services starting in 15 minutes, right? Dinner's ready and whatever. So you can get that general information here. Security is going to probably be on the same type of thing. They'll be on a different channel. So things that go on security, you won't have access to that. Right? Once things are handled, if there's an issue, an emergency, it'll go to security first, and then someone in the security team will then contact your radio to let you know what you need to be responsible for. Okay? So like I said, wherever you want to, you can just pick these up. It doesn't have to be, because at that point, this is what you call a line of sight. You're going to be in basically the general area of each other within 5 miles, pretty clear. You can talk on these. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Let's see. Let's check the chat and see what we've got. Check the chat and see if we have any questions here. Okay, let me scroll down. Sister Jeanette says, here I am with an 11-person tent with 4 people. We're all guilty, sis. We're all guilty. We want room. We want room, elbow room. You know, when Ahch is right, you want that body heat, especially at night, to keep that tent warm. Let's see. Yes, we just bought an EcoFlow. That was Yapa Journeys. Let's see. We know some people who use the EcoFlow on their washer and dryer. Wow. Just have to make sure you have the right wattage.
Yeah, that's probably the Delta series. The Delta series it works.
Wow. Sister Jeanette says he's not playing around with that dry ice. Oh my gosh. Sister Lillian said, oh, this is good info. Gosh, so many things you don't even consider when packing food. Absolutely. That was some valuable information. Sister Jean says, wow, I never thought about preparing meals prior to getting there. That's awesome.
Well, one of the fun things is a lot of times you can cook relatively large meals, right? And I do it all the time. Right now it's pretty much just me and my wife here. So I'll still cook a large meal. We'll eat on it, and we're not big on leftovers. But what I'll do is I'll take that same meal that next morning after it's done, I'll put it in the refrigerator. It's cold, it's easier to manage. I'll put it into a vacuum sealed bag and take the air out of it, and I'll eat that thing. I'll eat on that 18 months later. You know what I'm saying? Or those nights where I'm like, I don't want to cook tonight, right? I don't feel like it. But what we got in there? I got some chili beans, I got red beans and rice, I got, you know what I'm saying to you, jambalaya, and you just go and grab something, and it's already ready to go. Yeah. The second part of that is, let's say you have an emergency and you got to leave, right? And you don't have, you can grab that stuff and just go in your freezer and just grab it and throw it in your cooler and just go. It's already frozen. Let it unthaw. When you get to wherever you're going and you're safe, you can set up your gear in an emergency, and now you got food. Now you can feed your kids, and you can do everything you need to do to get them settled in an emergency. And now you can sit down and process. You see what I'm saying to you? Because the biggest thing is, if you can feed folks in a stressful situation, they'll calm down. You can get your feet under you and start to think about what's next.
That's incredible information there. We said we're gonna have no bathrooms. Sister Paula says, I can wait on the Most High, talking about walking by faith. Okay, so Sister Lillian says, how do you put the radio on the right signal channel?
It's going to have
that will be determined, right, by the location.
That's right. So it's going to be different. It's going to vary by location. Because what typically happens when you come in and register and all those things, typically there's going to be one of the first things that happen is security gets together, and security is usually the ones that are going to determine what station or what channel you're going to be on. So then at that point, they'll show you how to get to the channels. you're usually going to be in some of the lower band radio frequencies.
Okay. So Sister Rochelle Ross says, is it okay to bring hand sanitizer?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to need
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. You know?
Sister Ashley says, can you please explain how to keep your tent from rain? Last year, a lot of people's tents was flooded inside.
Is that Sister Ashley from SoCal?
I think so. Let's see. We have so many Sister Ashleys, you know?
Yeah. Nevertheless. So what you can do is right now, like I said, you can go to, let's say, like a Big Five or whatever outdoor camping store you have, and they have stuff. And that, matter of fact, that's a great question. You can get stuff you can spray on your tent, and you need, what the difference is though, you got to spray it on your tent, and your tent's got to stay open. It's got to stay up. You can't spray it and put it down right away. So they have waterproofing for your tent. They have waterproofing for your tent, and things like that.
Like a sealant
for your Now, so that'll help. But when you do that, understand that you're gonna need to be able to have access to open and closing your windows. When you put the rain fly on, you're gonna need to have that airflow, because once you do that sealant, any possible air that can come in or out of it, you're going to need airflow, because what's going to happen is, if you're trying to stay warm at night after you sprayed it, you're going to zip your tent up to stay warm. Well, what's going to happen is now you're going to wake up in the morning and you're still going to be wet, because now all your air that you breathe through the night is now going to cause condensation on your tent. So in both cases, so spray it down with a I don't have any with me right now, but spray it down and let it sit open typically. And then you need to, usually it's I want to say it's like 24 hours. So here we are on Sunday. If you go out tomorrow and get it, set your tent up, right? Set your tent up tomorrow night, you spray it, you'll have 24 hours or more to let it air out and let it dry right. Then you can close it up, pack it up, and then get ready for Tabernacles.
But aren't these tents supposed to be waterproof?
Water resistant.
Water resistant. Okay.
Yeah. Because if you wet anything long enough, that's the beautiful thing about water, right? Water just finds its way. So if you wet anything long enough, right, it will find a way it'll find some way to get in.
I guess I've been blessed, because with me going to Tabernacles and having, being in that pouring down rain, my tent I've never experienced that with my tent, but I know others did.
Yeah. And it depends on, and sometimes it's also going to depend on the level of your tent. Right. It's just different, because what people don't now, I don't want to get geeky, but there's a such thing as a 1 season tent, like 2 and 3, 4 season tents. So some tents are rated for rain, some are not.
What do you think about the canvas tents?
Oh, I love those. Right. I mean, I almost bought one but I use it for hunting. Right. Okay. Things like that. They're heavy. They're not light. Right. So canvas tents to me are going to be a situation of, we're going to be here for a while. Right. We're going to be here for a long while. We're not moving for a good while, because it takes a little while to set those up. Yeah.
Those are like those army tents.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I personally myself, I love them. I don't know that, like I said, when I use mine, it's usually when I'm going hunting, right? Because I need a base camp. I need somewhere I can, because it's large enough now. I got a wood burning stove in there. I'm cooking. I got a pipe coming out of it. I can cook inside. it's home.
It's home.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know that that's something. Now, I don't know that that's something I would use for what we think about, because anything we think about for the most part is we need something quick and fast, right? And we may get somewhere if we have to flee or run or get out. We may not be there very long.
Right. And those
So that's
those tents are incredibly heavy, like you said. They're really,
right.
really heavy and
So
bulky.
it's not, absolutely.
Bulky to fold up, and yeah.
Now listen, if you want to have one because you're like, okay, you know what? This next spring, we're gonna go and we're gonna spend a week at the Grand Canyon or wherever, Bryce National Forest or something, you know, whatever. And you're gonna take it where you can go do some hiking and different things like that, and come back and you need a shelter. Those are great if you're gonna spend, you know, a week, 2 or 3 weeks, 14 days somewhere.
Okay. Any experience with the self-inflatable ones, the self-inflatable tents? Have you had any experience with those?
Not the literally blow up ones, the one that just the pop up.
Well, they say they pop up, but some of these are huge, and they do have like a big pump. But for the most part, it inflates by itself, but then you have to help it with a pump.
Yeah.
I've been considering something like that, but they say those are really heavy also. I just don't know if you've had any experience with that. Do they really just pop up and or are they really difficult to navigate to? Because you don't need those stakes or anything like that. You don't, you know, the pole and put in all those poles and stuff, because it just pops up.
Right. So I haven't had any experience with that, but only thing I can imagine that it would be like, a lot of times people, because I'm one of the brothers that does tent setup at Tabernacles. So I have experience with a lot of different types of tents. They do have the tents that kind of just fold in on themselves, and you pop the legs out and you lock everything together. You just pull the center.
Those are usually the smaller ones, because I had one of those small ones. But we're talking about the big,
right,
like 8 people tent.
Absolutely.
You know,
the only time I think I saw one was like,
for glamping.
Yeah,
those are the glamping tents.
Who would we be if we weren't Hebrews to want to be glamping, right? And hey, we could do it, man. But no, I haven't had any experience with that. But the only thing I can think about that would be is it probably has good insulation, right? Because if you have any kind of cushion between you and the outside heat with air, then all of a sudden now you're not that you got to heat up that air first before it ever gets into you, so you can keep your dwelling cool with something like that, right? That's the reason why you have, you know, gaps in insulation in your walls,
right?
You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, that's the reason why this stays cold,
right?
Is because there's an outer layer and there's an inner layer. So before I can ever get to the inside of that, it has to heat that air up first, real good, before it can cool down or heat up anything inside of it.
Okay. Well, let's see if we have any other questions. Sisters, y'all have any questions? What about, okay, let's see. Let me go back here. Scroll back. Sister Paula says, I can answer that for you, Miss Ashley. Don't let any holes be in it. No holes in the tent.
Right. You know what else I was just, Go ahead. I also thought about this. If you're going to be at Tabernacles for a long time and you have let's say you have a small grill that you're going to bring. A lot of people will bring, they'll bring a ton of these.
Right.
If your grill takes this, I suggest that what you do is you buy a converter like this. Sorry.
Mm.
You buy a converter like this. So get the camera. There you go. Okay. Because now what you can do is, instead of buying a ton of these and having a lot of waste, because you'll go through a ton of these in Tabernacles, you're better off having this and using a 5-gallon or even a 2.5-gallon propane tank.
Oh, okay.
And that'll work for the entire time of Tabernacles. It's cheaper, it's less waste, and it's just less stuff to pack, less things to pack.
Okay.
So,
and that's for people who are doing a lot of cooking, right? Because, like you said, if we're just heating stuff up, for me, those little canisters last. They last a while for me.
Right.
I think I went through 2 last year.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's right. So if it's just you and if you're just I'm just gonna have some tea. I'm not. You know, if you already know someone that is gonna you're gonna just chip in with the cooking, right, or whatever. That's one thing. But if you're gonna be doing a lot of cooking, this is my recommendation.
Okay.
Get the converter, get a propane tank, and you can go to Costco and buy the propane tanks. If you get a propane tank, my other recommendation for propane tanks is buy it by the gallon. Don't do the exchange, and don't go to the places that refill it for a flat price.
Okay.
And the reason that is because sometimes your propane tank will have gas still in it, and knowing how much they fill it, it's still going to be like $20, right? And then if you do the exchangeables, they only come with a certain amount of gas. They don't come full.
Oh.
Right, and so you're paying that price to get partial gas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right, but if you buy it by the gallon, you have your own propane tank, and they only charge you for what they fill in the tank.
Oh, okay.
Right, and so, well, like I said, getting ready for the winter time, I have a large generator here. It's dual fuel, so it takes gas and propane. So I have 8 full 5-gallon propane tanks, right, that I just keep on hand in case of emergency.
Okay. Oh, okay. This preparation stuff is something else, isn't it? It is really something else. Just when you think that you're prepared, and then you come to this class and it's like, well, I guess I'm not as prepared as I thought I was.
Little by little.
Sisters, any of you feel that way? Oh my gosh, let's see. Sister Adara says, can you bring some spray, Ahch, please?
Yes, sis, I got you.
You got her. He's got you, sis. Any suggestions on keeping bugs out of tents and flies away from food? That's Sister Lillian.
Okay. Tents. The biggest thing I suggest in your tents, zip your tents up. When you walk out, zip your tent up. Okay. Other thing, don't have food inside of your tent. Don't do a lot of snacking in the middle of the night and things like that. That will attract ants. You will get bugs in your tent if you eat if you're laying down, if you're one of those people that like to have a midnight snack and chips and cookies and cakes. If you're messy, just know you're gonna have to clean it up in the morning because ants will get in there. But the best way to keep bugs out of your tent is going to be zip it up. And as far as your food goes, a lot of times people will get the canopies with the net around it.
The net around it, cotton.
Right, that's one. If you don't have that, then I recommend getting the little covers for your food, the little mesh covers, so that bugs don't get to your flies don't get on your food. So you can go get your food, close it up.
Come on.
And the other thing is, you're gonna have to be very cleanly. Clean up behind yourself. Don't leave any food out. Every year, I guarantee you, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to watch people have their food stolen because they didn't put it away, and you can hear the raccoons walking off with their food. It's the best thing ever. You know what I mean? And listen, they'd be out there fighting, and the sisters be like, I don't know what that is. Oh my God. And I'm like, it's gonna get you, sis. It's coming to get you. And it's just a raccoon.
Yeah, we had deer that when was it, like a couple of years ago? We had deer that came and just ate the apples that were left out. I didn't think that deer would eat apples, but yeah, they ate the apples. They ate whatever was out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no, I promise you, every year there's been a sighting. Last year, one of the brothers thought it like we get there early, and so it was cool because it was just some of the brothers. So one of the guys thought it was a good idea to bring donuts. When he came, he's like, "Oh, coffee and donuts." Well, of course, you know, a bunch of men, we get together, we eat our donut, we walk away. Well, the donuts didn't get finished, and in the middle of the night, a raccoon was out there. I mean, sitting down in the chair like a grown man eating a donut.
Wow. Wow. Hold on just a second.
Sis, what's the temperature like out there in Texas?
It's cooling down. We were like 100 and something not too long ago, and now let's see. You know what? Let me see what the temperature is right now. 75 right now. So
okay.
Today I think it was probably in the 80s. I think it was in the 80s.
It was 107 here today.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So part of the reason why I'm glad to be on the show, but also is one of the things I also do is before Tabernacles, I go out and I spend some time outside doing work outside to get myself acclimated to the heat. Right. So then that forces me to also remind you or remind my sisters, drink a lot of water now. Get your water in you now, because by the time you realize you're dehydrated, it's already too late.
Right.
Hydrate before Tabernacles. Okay. So forego for the next few days. My suggestion would be forego the sodas, the juices, milk, all the other stuff. Make sure you hydrate. A lot of water.
Water.
Get it in you now.
Great advice.
Yeah. And if you got anything else.
And especially on the first day when you go out and you're setting up.
Yeah.
You're so busy running to the car, pulling this out, setting things up. You're not thinking about hydrating. And before you know it, you're lightheaded, you know, ready to pass out, heart's racing.
Right. Now, when you guys go out, are you guys going to be at elevation this year?
You know, I have not been to the place where we're going. This is a new location for us. I don't know about the elevation.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say that one of the things you should look up is what elevation you guys will be, because some people are sensitive. Some people are sensitive to elevation. If it's your first time going to Tabernacles, a lot of people haven't spent any time in any elevation, right? So just kind of keep an eye on that. Like if you've never been in elevation, and because there's altitude sickness,
right?
And a lot of people you're like, I don't know what's going on with me. I feel feel weird, and you just kind of try to push through it, and then all of a sudden you're passed out. And a lot of people will get concerned, thinking that you're dehydrated or something's gone wrong, and it can be something as simple as elevation sickness.
Elevation, yes. Yeah, I really don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
But don't worry about it.
That's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
That's a good question to ask.
I lose you again? No.
Let me see. Any other questions, sisters? Can you please explain about, hold on. Sister Zion says, will those mesh covers to block the sun also help prevent the rain from coming into your tent? No. No, sis, those won't. No. Sister Carla says, can you please, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Check.
You had a question? Oh, I thought you had a question.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Sister Carla says, can you please explain about the footprint again as far as a space for rent, shower, tent, and condo king station? I don't know what that means, sis. Can you please explain about the footprint again, as far as a space for rent, shower tent, and condo king station?
Don't know. Only thing is, I have no idea what that question is. I don't want to answer it correctly.
Okay.
I mean, the closest I can get to it is, because only thing I understand about a footprint is, I just thought of another one. Speaking of footprint, when you get your tent, you're going to want a tarp. You're going to want to put a tarp down first, and then put your tent on top of that tarp. You don't want, because what you want is, you're going to be going in and out of your tent all day, every day. You don't want the bottom of your tent to be rubbing on the ground, because you will put a hole in the bottom. So however large or whatever like the sister was saying, whatever the footprint is of your tent, you're going to want a tarp larger than that. You may as well, you don't have to be so particular with it, but you want it to be able to sit in it. So don't get upset, but you're going to have to drive a stake probably through your own tarp. But it's better to do that than to have your tent rubbing against the dirt at Tabernacles. Speaking of flooding and water, when you get there, you're going to want to look at, sorry sis, I'm getting close to the camera there. You're going to want to look at whether you're on a slope, if you're in a valley, if you got so if it rains, if you set your tent up and there's a downslope, if there's a downslope near you, if it rains, the water's going to come down that downslope and you'll be sitting in water. So you want to be mindful of where you set your tent up. Before you set your tent up, you're going to want to don't just set your tent up and have rocks, because when you get in your tent, a lot of times you're going to kick your shoes off. I don't care if you have a tarp down and you're walking around in your tent. A lot of times you step on those rocks, they still hurt. So you might want to get some type of rake or a broom to brush away any rock or debris underneath your tent as well.
Awesome. I always bring some slippers so that when I walk into my tent, I slip my feet into the slippers and I walk around my tent with those rather than barefoot.
Right.
Because like you said, there's no telling what's under the tent and the tarp.
That's right.
So let's see. What else do we have here? What about batteries? AA, AAA, C, D batteries. Will we need them? It depends on your equipment that you're bringing. You will need batteries if they require batteries.
Right.
So check and see what your electronics require, what batteries they require, and bring some extras.
I also suggest, sis, I also suggest battery packs, chargeable, little portable battery packs, because you may end up going to a course or a class, and you may not have access to your larger charging unit. So having a couple of these available to you is also a good thing too. So you can also charge your devices, right? Especially like I said, if you have children and things like that, because in the evening when you're done, the last thing you want to do is fight with children. You want quiet. Not that I know, that's just what I heard.
Here's the iPad.
Yeah. Please.
It really needs to work.
Yeah. And right now.
Sister Lillian says, a lot of my questions are getting answered tonight. Praise the Most High.
All praise be to the Most High.
It's Sister Rochelle says, what about an antenna? Is there any way it can be plugged up on someone's device?
What type? Oh, you talking like a satellite, or what type of antenna is she talking about there?
I don't know. She just says, what about an antenna? Is there any way it can be plugged up on someone's device? I'm not sure. Sister Sarah says, I've seen those blow-up tents that you mentioned, Ahchwathyam, but I have been guilty of preparing food at tabs. So the prepping before tabs is an awesome idea. Because some people, I've seen people bring all this food and they have it's like a whole kitchen out there with a crock pot and everything going on. I'm going, wow. But I did that last year with the prepping the food, but because my ice, I didn't have the ice chest thing, I didn't have that down on how to use the dry ice and the ice. And so some of my food, it just got so soggy because the ice was just melted. Right.
So and that's the cool thing. But that's the good thing about doing any kind of Ziploc or vacuum seal is it conceals it from the water too, right? So it conceals it, keeps it frozen. And then, like I said, you definitely want to separate it, and you can find other ways if you have you can find different ways to keep your stuff cold and cool. So yeah, but two separate. Remember, if you bring anything, two separate. Oh, lastly. Also, another good thing to do is with your, so you have, when we were talking about the cooler, that's one thing, but a lot of times you'll have dry goods. So you'll have seasonings or salt, pepper, your tea, your coffee. That's another reason to have one of these bins. Sorry, another reason to have one of these bins. I don't know what's going on here. It's getting dark. Another reason to have one of these bins would be that.
Okay. To put all your dry goods in.
Put the dry goods in there. So and if it has the snap sides on it, then raccoons and other animals can't get into it.
Critters.
Right. So it's good for that as well.
Let's see. Wow, we're getting some good feedback. Let's see. Those bandits in the chair. Oh, okay. Clean up your own mess. Sister Sarah says, clean up your own mess and be considerate to others.
There's some light on me here because it's starting to get a little dark out here.
Sister Paula says, look at our cousin, Jerusalem. He's doing a good job. So cousin Paula says you're doing a great job.
Hey, cousin, what's going on?
Let's see. Sister Rochelle says, an antenna where you could get a signal. I think you plug them up on TVs. I don't know. Nobody bringing the TV, but I don't know what else she could plug them. Where I don't know.
So that's almost like an RV situation.
Oh, okay.
That's got to be like a solar kind of deal or something like that. That I don't know. Okay. Anybody bringing a TV got more time at Tabernacles than I do.
that's doing a lot. That's doing a lot right there.
Right.
Sister Dara says also you can put the ice in Ziplocs. It is neater. Okay. Look at that. Wow. Well, I think you answered 99.9% of our questions.
Well, thank you, sir.
I'm sure there's a 0.1% out there of a question that hasn't been asked, but this was such great information, especially, and I say for those who are new to Tabernacles, but for all of us, for those of us who have, or veterans at Tabernacles here who have done it a few times, it's still great information, great reminders, and new information. I learned the valuable takeaway for me is that cooler with the dry ice and how to actually wrap it,
right,
to keep the stuff cold and frozen, and not to have wasted food. So that was pretty valuable for me.
Con, I'm starting to disappear
here. Oh, yeah, you are. It's getting dark out there. But thank you, the water. This was, oh my gosh. I truly, truly appreciate you taking the time out of your super busy schedule, because I know you have a lot going on, to come and give us this presentation tonight.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, anytime. You'll be back. You'll be back. You have so much, you're a wealth of information, and we're going to tap into that as often as we can. Thank you so very much. You have a blessed week. Happy Tabernacles and Day of Atonement. It's not supposed to be a happy day, but a safe and wonderful Day of Atonement and a blessed Tabernacles. Give my love to the SoCal body, for all the bodies.
That's right.
Miss you guys.
I got to, yeah. I'll be talking to your old church as well, Northern California as well.
The water Ahch. Love you. Shalom. Wow, sisters, that was amazing. That was amazing. Let's see, what feedback do we have here? Okay. Wow, what did you all think about that? It sounds like everyone learned a lot, gained a lot of wisdom to prepare, like I said, not just for Tabernacles, but for if you want to go camping. Now you have, I think you should feel more comfortable now going into the Feast of Tabernacles, right? A little bit more comfortable with it. Let's see. Sister Johnny says, Barak Ahch Shamar for your time and info. Sister Sierra says, Shalawam and the water Ahch. Wow, so much information. All praises. So many awesome tips. Khan. Such great information. I agree, sisters. I agree. So sisters, oh wow, now that we've learned the basics and then some. I don't think this was basic. This was some advanced information as well. Do you feel more prepared? Do you feel more prepared going into the Feast of Tabernacles starting the end of this week? If you do, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, because that was the whole purpose of this show, is to help us to be more prepared for Feast of Tabernacles and beyond. I am on and beyond, not just for Feast of Tabernacles. So I'm super, super excited about, this holy day. We get to leave the world behind. We get to leave the world behind during this holy day, Feast of Tabernacles, and become one mind, one body, one spirit, and on one accord under our Lord and Savior YASHAYA, out there in nature and away from the rest of the world. So I am so excited about. I'm ready. I'm ready for Tabernacles. It's a much needed getaway from the rat race. It really is. Plus, the skills that you learn tonight should inspire and challenge us all to not wait for this once a year event, but take time to go camping and take nature breaks with family and friends throughout the year, throughout the next year. So don't wait until next Tabernacles to go out and do some camping and put into action what you've learned tonight and what you're going to implement going into this Feast of Tabernacles. So everything that we learned tonight, the goal is for us to, utilize it. And so it becomes second nature. It becomes second nature. It's, let's see. Sister Johnny says, Khan, it sure was awesome. Sister Rochelle says, yes, it was definitely needed. Sister Sarah gave a thumbs up. Sister Lillian said, that was amazing. I do feel more prepared. I just need a course on how to pack all of this stuff in my car. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to stretch the car. Stretch the car. Sister Jean says, thank you, brother. Yes, I will definitely pass on these sentiments to Ahch Shamar. Okay. That being said, because of the Feast of Tabernacles celebrations, we will not be broadcasting next week or the following Sunday. So we have a break, a 2-week break from Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty. We have a 2-week break. We will be returning on September 29th, which is the last Sunday in September. And on that night, we will be going into decluttering part 3, mental and emotional detox continued. Because last week, remember, there was just so much stuff. We couldn't complete it all in one night. And Sister Patricia has agreed to come back, and we're going to tackle part 3 of decluttering, mental and emotional detox. Yes, that is going to be another amazing show. Sister Jeanette says, the water for the show. Ayandabar says, Sister Johnny says, I feel one with the universe when I'm in my tent at night. I'm so serious. It's just, isn't the Most High awesome? How he gives us these days and these feast days and, the purpose behind them. So I'm really excited. So let's talk about the tea party. So next year's tea party, we're planning. I've started planning. I have actually picked out 4 potential venues for the weekend event, because remember, it's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday event. Friday is going to be workshops for the sisters, the young women, and Saturday, Shabbat gathering, after sundown, then we're going to have an event, some kind of event for us to get together after Shabbat, after sundown on that Saturday. And then Sunday will be the tea party. So, like I said, I picked out 4 potential venues so far. When I return from Tabernacles, the Most High willing, I will reach out to these venues and narrow it down to the one, and also have a date for the event for next year. And I'm thinking, the weekend that we normally did our, the weekend that we secured for the last 2 summer tea parties was the weekend of the first day of summer. But this past June, Elder had the all-white party and the gala, and I'm thinking that that's going to be an annual event around that time. So we definitely don't want to compete with that. So I'm thinking we may change our date to either July or August for the summer tea party next year. So yes, I can't wait either, Sister Sarah. I can't wait. So sisters, I hope that you found this information useful. All of the information that we presented tonight. If you did, please do me a favor. Share this video with your sister friends and your relatives, because they're gonna, I'm sure they want to go camping as well, even if they don't attend Tabernacles. This is vital information that you can use just to go camping with family and friends. So let's grow this channel so that this information can reach Shebrews throughout the 4 corners of the earth, and even those that are not Shebrews but are willing to be a part of our community. We are to let our light shine so that others can be led to the source of the light. Yes, and so who is ready for, why did it just slip my mind? Day of Atonement. Who's ready for Day of Atonement? Sundown tomorrow. Yes. That's another high holy day, and on the heels of that is Tabernacles. So wow, September is a very, very, very spiritual and impactful month for us, and I'm just loving it. I love September. So sisters, I love you all so very much. Have a blessed Day of Atonement, a safe, wonderful Feast of Tabernacles. And gosh, it's always so good. It's always so wonderful to have you all come and share this night with me, Sunday nights with me, have tea with me, learn with me. Just know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for all of us. And until the Most High brings us back together, like I said, 3 weekends from now, 3 Sundays from now, may you prosper and be in good health. And remember, true healing begins inwardly before it is expressed outwardly. Let's see, I think I have some. Sister Lillian said, love you, sis. See you soon. Khan says, love you too. Mwah! I love you all so much. Love you all so much. Most High bless you. I'm your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, a voice of reasoning and justice. Have a blessed night and rest well. Shalawam. Mwah. Shalawam, sisters. Sister Sarah, love you, my beautiful sister. This show was absolutely amazing. The water, sis, I love you too so very much. Shalawam.